Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks Podcast with your host, Catriel. We have a very special guest here today. Her name is River, also known as the Sea Moss Lady.
Yeah, the Sea Moss Lady. Sea Moss Lady and Health Fairy.
Ooh, Health Fairy. Yeah. So I just met her about 5 minutes ago, maybe not even. But I love impromptu podcasts. I mean, it was planned, but I just never met you, and here's the time to do that.
Yeah.
So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, okay. So I live right now currently in Asheville, North Carolina. Okay, yeah. So I live over there. I, like I said, the Sea Moss Lady. I'm very into sea moss. I guess before even getting into that, more about me on an energetic level, I am just a soul here to kind of help people with loving themselves, loving their body, and just remembering to like be present and not get so caught up in the mind and try to like figure so much out in life because there's not that much to figure out.
I love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask, what is your sun sign?
My sun sign is a Virgo. My rising sign is a Virgo.
Okay, this is getting funny.
And my moon sign is a Libra. I actually have 2 more Virgo placements. I'm a quad Virgo.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you realize that your Earth is in Pisces?
Oh, no. Wait, what?
So one thing that I love to really touch base with is since we're on this planet Earth, is really tapping into our Earth sign. And so just like, like when you have a full moon, like say in Cancer season, we had the full moon of Capricorn. It's 180. Like the sign is literally the opposite sign, Capricorn from Cancer. Virgo is directly across the street from Pisces. So your Earth is always like the Earth placement. So we're in 11 degrees Cancer today. That means our Earth is in 11 degrees Capricorn.
Oh my goodness.
It like puts so much into perspective and it makes a lot of sense. The reason I asked you is because your name is River and I was like, there's gotta be some water flowing there somewhere.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense to have my Earth in Pisces. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But wow, okay, so you're from Asheville.
Yeah. I'm originally from northern Wisconsin.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah. But I live in Asheville now. That's where like my business is based out of. That's also when I moved there. So I was living here in St. Pete actually, and it's funny because the area code is 727 here, and I was born at 727 a.m. And then my birthday is 828. When I moved to Asheville, the area code in Asheville is 828.
That's wild.
Yeah. So Asheville is such a magical place, and it has just done nothing but like propel me forward on different levels and layers of my existence and being, and like, oh, I'm so grateful.
So it's kind of funny. I was just the podcast that I just recorded for the energy update for, well, this will premiere in September in Virgo season, ironically.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I love it. Yes.
So this is perfect. But I was just talking on the energy update for Cancer season that I had, I'm going on another road trip, which is why there's going to be a break. And last year, I kicked off my first road trip that I've ever been on, for myself. And one of the places I did go to was Asheville. And it changed my world.
It does that.
Just such a beautiful energy. So what are you cultivating in Asheville?
What I am cultivating. Also, first, I don't want to say Asheville, the ley lines that surround that place is pretty magical. And there's also an energetic vortex there. I don't know if you've ever heard about the Vortex in Sedona, Arizona.
I just went there.
So the lady who founded that also founded the one near Asheville. And funny enough, her name is Paige, and that was actually my government name before I changed it. Yeah, so it's really weird coming in there and like my friend owns the property that the Vortex is on. Actually, like she lets me host gatherings there.
Oh wow!
I do a lot of like sound healing gatherings or yoga gatherings or women's gatherings there. It's amazing. But the address is 288 of it, and the lady that founded its name was Paige. And I'm just like, when I got there, I was like, okay, universe, all right, I see you. But Asheville, no, between that Vortex and the ley lines and like those being some of the oldest mountain ranges in the world, it's just, it is so healing. For me, what I'm cultivating there is like community, which already thrives and is abundant there. But for me, I'm trying to cultivate like my tribe and like giving myself back to the community that's already established there, and just cultivating, wellness and my CMOS business like even more, because that's where I just see it being based out of. Yeah.
So what is a CMOS business or isness?
CMOS. So for me, okay, so CMOS to begin with is a red algae.
Okay.
It's grown in the ocean. CMOS is amazing. It is, if you think about algae to begin with, like autotrophs and photoautotrophs, they're the original organisms. Like none of us would even exist without autotrophs or photoautotrophs. Talking on like evolutional, like science-y like level. So, a lot of times, especially in like American society, we're always like, eat higher on the food chain, higher on the food chain. When really we want to be eating lower on the food chain, because that's where all the dense nutrients is. CMOS actually contains 92 out of the 102 vitamins and minerals you're supposed to be having daily. It feeds the thyroid like crazy. It cleanses and stimulates the lymphatic system. It removes mucus from the lungs and body. It's also really high in iron. So people that have like anemia issues, it's perfect for. Wow. It's really good for mental health because the high levels of potassium. Great for oxidative stress on the body, which again, like I said, comes from, I think I was telling you earlier, like people get in the mind a lot and that creates oxidative stress. Another thing, I just had thought of it to touch base on. So, especially in like America, like all the processed foods we have here and all like the grains we eat and the bread, like it just sucks our like digestive system, like our intestinal tracts dry, like it literally, it's like, and that's where like constipation can stem from and other stuff like that. It's dry, so things aren't gonna flow through there. And what CMOS and like other algae do is hydrates the digestive tract, because you think about it, you want your intestines to be like a slimy fish, so things can just like flow through. I know, a little weird, but
that was great though.
Yeah, but CMOS, helps with that. Helps with like any gut issues you could think of. I've actually helped people that have Crohn's disease with it, or celiac disease, or I always say this wrong. Colitis, yeah, or stomach ulcers. Like I like healed my dad's stomach ulcers with them. I've actually helped 2 people with cancer with CMOS and other stuff so far, because I don't do just CMOS, like that's the primary of it, but that's also why I put in Health Fairy, because my clients that I have that I supply CMOS to, I also kind of do lifestyle coaching to the point where I'm like, okay, like you should also try this other algae or this other product because it would be good for this, because I'm not here to just give people CMOS and be like, okay, take this and don't make any other changes to your lifestyle and just Band-Aid it on. Because it's like, no, not just one thing is going to fix everything. Like it also stems down to lifestyle patterns and choices.
Oof, yes.
So much. So So I do that, like, to the point where, like, some of my clients, you know, if they want help with more of the lifestyle coaching, I even make music playlists for them to, like, okay, you should be listening to this at this time of the day, or listen to this while you're doing this activity, and all that different stuff, or help them with certain, like, yoga sequences that will help with their heart chakra, or this, or help with certain organs in their body. It's just, it's a deep process I work on with people.
Wow, I really like that.
Yeah.
Like, that seems very, like, well-rounded.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I want to help people get to their roots, you know? Like, if something's wrong with the tree, say the bark's not doing good or the leaves aren't doing good, it has something to do with what's going on with the roots, or what's going on underground, like in the dirt, if that makes sense as a metaphor.
Yeah.
You guys see what's going on with the roots. Like, is there root rot? Is something eating the roots? Is there's a diseasement going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. So, like, how do you only work with your coaching in Asheville, or do you branch out?
I branch out. Like, one of my clients is in Wisconsin, one of my clients is in California, one is in Florida. Like, I have people in the Netherlands that
Wow.
I help. Yeah. Recently it's went, like, a little international, which is cool. So, you know, just email's awesome. Zooming is awesome. You know, I think that's one thing I like about technology. When used in the right way, you know, it can help us all connect and help each other.
Yeah.
So
how can people find you in regards to...
So right now my website for the next week is down, but just to do some reamping. But you can find me on Instagram, via email. I did bring...
And this will go out in Virgo season.
Okay, so my website will be fine. Scratch what I just said. My website will be up and going. I did bring you one of my cards. So it has my Instagram, it has my email, it has my phone number. And actually, so for my company, on my business card, it doesn't even talk about CMOS or anything on my business card. I just kind of put in on my card just what I want to bring out to the world. So on my card, it actually says, attention to the human body brings healing and regeneration through awareness of the body. We remember who we really are. By choosing to ride conscious waves of awareness, we can make conscious choices and create new patterns. Because my company is actually called Conscious Waves Wellness. Because I'm just trying to get everyone to ride the waves of consciousness.
I love that.
Yeah, we can all just, like, surf together.
Do you surf?
I snowboard, so I like frozen surf.
I like that.
I have surfed twice. I got up on the board once. It's awesome. I would love to do that more in life. Eventually, once I make my way somewhere tropical, which I hopefully see in my future. I would love to down the road eventually, and I am trying to manifest it with some people right now. I would love to actually kind of live in South America or possibly Hawaii.
I just heard Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. Because I would also like to CMOS farm myself. Like, right now, I wholesale import, like, all my CMOS from Jamaica. Oh, wow. Even though I just met a new wonderful woman in Asheville. Her name is Chef Empress. She's amazing, and she is about to be one of my new CMOS suppliers. She's awesome. She also sells CMOS as well. She's awesome, and she makes a really good vegan food. Ooh. She's great. Yeah, Chef Empress.
I'll definitely have to check her out. I'm heading up to North Carolina on Tuesday, or South Carolina and then North Carolina.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, she every Friday is at a local farmer's market from 3 to 6, and she sells CMOS and some of her goodies, and it's awesome. And she does other stuff. I know you can, like, contact her for things, and she's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so... yeah, back to the Hawaii thing, I would love to just sea moss farm myself and be an ocean farmer. And because by doing that, like growing sea moss and then, cultivating any other algae blooms in the ocean actually helps recreate the ozone layer and cleans like the water. So at the same time, you're growing sea moss for humans to help them and then giving back to the environment at the same time. It's so symbiotic. It makes sense to me. And the reason Hawaii speaks to me so greatly is because I would love to clean the water up there a little bit more. Because if you think about, you get so much trash that comes into Hawaii coming over from, like China or Japan or just any touristy places over there, big production countries. And also Fukushima, a lot of the waste from Fukushima, that's put into the water, gets pushed over to the coast of California, Hawaii, some of the coasts of South America.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's in Japan?
Japan, yeah. Fukushima, the nuclear power plant, which in 2011, the whole Fukushima disaster, which a bunch of nuclear active wastewater went into the ocean, which a year after, a scientist discovered a nanoalgae that can actually clean radioactive waste out of water, which yet they're still not using to clean all their water tanks that hold all this radioactive waste. Last year, the Prime Minister of Japan actually gave Fukushima the okay to dump 1 million tons of radioactive waste into the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, which a lot of people, because of COVID and all these other things that have happened and these movements that have happened in the last year, a lot of people don't even know that that's going on.
No, I
didn't. So within the next 2 years, 1 million, and it could even be before that, 1 million tons of radioactive wastewater is going to be dumped into the Pacific Ocean. The only reason it's on pause right now is because Greenpeace came out with a statement saying that if Fukushima does this, it's going to change human DNA.
Whoa.
Yeah, and a lot of the neighboring countries of Japan are protesting and are pretty pissed off because it's also going to completely demolish the whole fishing industry.
Oh, wow.
So everything's just going to be, and so that's a huge thing. That's why I think ocean farming down the road for me is like where it's at, to kind of try to protect the waters and the creatures in it as much as possible. And hopefully having a lifestyle coaching wellness center in Hawaii would be awesome.
That would be legit.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for that. Or I shouldn't even say hoping, I'm really manifesting for that. So
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So what really set you on the path of health and wellness? And also all of what you know in regards to plant life and sea life and all of that.
Yeah.
Marine biology, I should say, right?
Yeah, marine biology, basically. Honestly, ever since I was little, I actually always wanted to be a marine biologist. I loved the ocean. Orcas are my favorite animal. I always loved the movie Free Willy growing up. Yes. And that's actually where my passion and everything stemmed from getting into trying to get involved with marine biology and now trickling down to algae, I guess, and just loving the ocean was from the movie Free Willy. And then after the credits, you know how at the end of the movie when that Michael Jackson song comes on. Yeah. Yes! That is my jam. Hold me like the River Jordan. Yes!
I love it.
So, the end of the movie, credits roll in, that song comes on, tears jerking. It says, it shows how, orcas are endangered and they're an endangered species and just caring for our oceans more. And I remember being my God, I remember being 9 or 10 and I remember seeing those credits on the screen, how orcas are endangered, we need to be taking care of our ocean more. And ever since then, Yeah, orcas have been my favorite animal, and I've just been obsessed with figuring out how to get more involved with taking care of the ocean. And, through my teen years, I strayed from that a little bit, going through figuring out, what's life? And, trying to figure out health. I was being 12 to 16, I wasn't the healthiest being, definitely a little shit. Oh my God. But then, once I kind of 17 to 18 is once I started bouncing back to myself. And I really am going to put this out there. It's a huge shout out to psychedelics for really reconnecting me with myself and seeing how much hurt and pain I cause my body when my body is my best friend. My body is this thing that carries my soul, my energy, my chi, my prana, whatever you want to call it. It's like, wow, I really wasn't taking care of my car. Like, what happened to the little kid that loved herself so much and loved the ocean and loved the planet? I got lost for a little bit. A detour, do you want to call it? But psychedelics really helped me reconnect with that part of myself. I'm really loving and cherishing and being so grateful for this vessel that houses my energy. Yeah. And then, I snap back into that. I'm like, okay, let's get back on this path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, super. So yeah, just really studying different foods. I started with music, started with food, because, food is medicine. Food is literally medicine, okay? Yeah. And that's, for me, where it started, just being really conscious of what I'm putting in my body. And even then on a music level, really conscious of what I'm listening to, conscious of who I'm around, because all of those things are part of your diet. Yeah. You literally are what you put in yourself, what you listen to, what you surround yourself, how you even speak. It's that's all your diet. But yeah, long story short, everything stemmed from the movie Free Willy, I guess.
I love that. For me, I realized that when we reflect on our lives, we really knew what was up when we were kids.
Totally did. Oh my gosh, literally, I think, and that's another thing, kids are amazing. And I used to be a special education teacher, and I also used to teach kids yoga. I lived in Italy for a year, maybe it bled into a little more, but I actually taught yoga at a private elementary school to kids in this tiny little village in North Italy.
Wow.
That's an experience. Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. That's a huge another thing about my journey. I love kids. I love helping kids. I love being surrounded by kids because I just think they're a great reminder of how we should be looking at the world. Looking at the world through the eyes of a child. I just think that's so important.
I'm looking after my friend's son right now.
Yeah.
He's actually in North Carolina right now.
No way.
Which is really funny. And they will be going to Asheville, I think.
That's amazing.
But he is very similar to you. He was telling me a bunch of these facts you told me. Yeah. I didn't know until last week when I was dropping him every morning to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Yeah. So that he could be the junior marine biologist. And he's telling me how important algae is, and if algae didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to breathe.
Yeah, 100%. You would not. What? We wouldn't even be here. These human vessel bodies wouldn't be here.
It's just absolutely incredible. He's 11. And how incredible this boy knows what's up. And he's going to save the world someday, with every other child that's living right now. We,
you can learn things from them.
And we're not that old either, but, our generation and, we are going to shift everything.
Yeah. No, I fully believe that. And it it also starts with really listening to the younger generations and like realizing we all have something to offer each other, and not just not having a superiority complex, or not being like thinking that the age of our vessels and how long we've been here means anything, because it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You know, it really doesn't. Like, somebody could be in their 50s, you know, and they're like, oh, I've lived life. Like, you know, I've done this. I've had this experience. So it's like, you know, they don't even want to give an 11-year-old talking about LG like the time of day, because they're like, oh, like, or just kids in general, because it's like, oh, like they're kids. It's like they know so much and they can teach the older generations, is how I look at it. It's like people get so hung up on the concept of how long that they've been here, which it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
If unless you've dove in and learned the lessons.
There's a definite distinction between knowledge and wisdom.
There really is. I think kids have way more wisdom than adults.
I believe that.
I think because they're fresh from source. They're not, you know, they're fresh from source. They're way closer to source, because, you know, their minds aren't so compacted with all this information from society or humans or thoughts. It's just it's more open, you know, it's not heavy. It's light.
And I feel like, you know, our generation was really created to have an open mind.
Totally.
So that when we have kids, or, you know, the kids that are right here, right now, you know, like, we're open enough to hear and listen to them. So
totally are.
That this whole paradigm can shift. Like,
absolutely.
It's absolutely incredible. Like, just looking at the different generations and how our parents were, and, you know, it kind of laid a seed there, you know, in the 70s.
Totally did. Totally did.
Which is why we even, you know, have this openness.
Yeah.
You know? And then some maybe had parents that, like, were like, no, this is the way it goes. But we're inbred, I feel, with, you know, this wisdom within ourselves is like, no, what is truth? What, you know, what actually is meaningful?
Yeah, absolutely. For some reason, you just saying that just sparked more in me to also share, where you were kind of saying, you know, what got me on this journey and stuff like that. And I think I described more about, like, you know, the LG journey and, like, psychedelics helping with, you know, getting me back in touch with my vessel. And, like, one of the biggest things for me in life, though, that I think is the most beautiful thing to be existing as is a sober human. Like, sobriety. I think sobriety is the best high and most potent medicine that we can have. And for me, that's a huge thing. And that's why part of my lifestyle coaching, you know, I encourage sobriety. I think down the road, though, it'd be cool to have when I have my center, to work with microdosing psilocybin, because in the beginning, if people need that, but then even stepping away from that and just full sobriety, you know, like, your medicine is your food, your water, and, like, breathing exercises. I think the most clarity and the most just everything comes through sobriety.
I feel you.
It's how we're supposed to exist.
You know, it's funny because you know, I dabbled a tiny bit, but
I dabbled a lot.
Like, for me, I noticed that even smoking, you know, marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
Really is not even for me.
Same.
Like,
absolutely same.
The way I look at it is, it's these different, you know, like, medicines.
Yeah.
Are sacred.
So sacred.
So when we have sacred intention and there's space for that, it makes it such a more deeper like experience. But I feel like the difference between sacred and mundane, and it's not done all the time.
It's not done all the time. I agree so much. And I see that's enough. Okay, this is what I see also happening in the world with, you know, these medicines, these sacred medicines, like whether it's, you know, psilocybin or it's cannabis or it's ayahuasca or ape. If you've ever heard of ape, it's the tobacco. Yeah. The tobacco blend for up the nose that it originates from different Amazonian tribes in South America. Even like Kambo or different toad medicines. I think they're great sacred tools. But back to what you were saying between the mundane and stuff like that, I see an abuse of it all going on to the point people want to heal so bad that they're addicted to healing. They're getting lost in the healing to where it's like you're now addicted to healing, so that is throwing you out of balance. It's like you're doing all these sacred substances so much because you just want to purge so bad, which, you know, not everyone, like we were never really educated about that. So it's like I just see people getting lost in healing and sacred substances where it becomes poison. Yeah. Because everything is about dosage. Everything is about usage. Even like too much of a good thing is still too much of a good thing. It all stems back to balance. And I really hope the collective consciousness like will rise up to see that it's just like, you know, doing ape every day or even once a week or doing ayahuasca like all the time or psilocybin or smoking like or any form of cannabis. It's like back to the intention. It's like, what's your intention? What are you showing up for doing this? Yeah. Are you doing it to escape? Because that's where I some of my insight of seeing some of my friends or people I know, you know, with doing ayahuasca or like doing all that stuff, you know, like I said, they're getting lost in healing, almost where it's like you think you're doing these things to purge out whatever you're trying to purge or let go of trauma, old patterns, mindsets, whatever. But then at the same time, it's like, are you going in with the intention of releasing it? Or are you going in to escape?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. And the other thing that I've seen that's kind of a little bit of an issue is that there's not a support system being done for like particular ceremonies.
Absolutely.
Like, for instance, these were native experiences that were facilitated by a shaman.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the shaman would not partake.
Yep. He doesn't need, yes, literally.
The shaman their job was to connect to source, to the divine.
Yeah.
And guard. It was like the leader wolf in a sense. I'm a huge wolf guy. And it was to facilitate the ceremony to, oh my gosh.
I understand.
The wolf tattoo on her. Wow.
Yeah, I got a wolf tat.
It's just, you know, the wolf is a very powerful totem. It's the teacher, it's wisdom. And it's the leader, you know, like when it's set in the aspect of the leader wolf, you know, the alpha in a sense, it's protecting the entire tribe by its energy. The whole pack.
Exactly.
And that's not what I'm seeing happening with these ceremonies. It's more so, I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to partake, and then we're going to go on this journey. It's not necessarily what it was meant for, like that. And I'm not trying to judge. That's not my thing
no judgment here.
It's just more so like sacred intention. And
it's perplexing. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and ethics a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, if I'm going on a journey, I want to feel safe.
Hey, we need someone stable in the room, please.
to hold the ground.
Yeah, the pillars for the foundation to happen, basically. Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, when we're going into a spirit world, you know, we're navigating through things that we don't necessarily understand. And if we don't have an anchor, are we going to come back?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
it's a valid question, you know?
No, I love that you say that, because in 2019, for a good amount of the year, I would facilitate DMT ceremonies for people. I would never partake. I administrate the DMT to them and for them, and create the space, create the intention, but I am there as like a mother energy, like a safe net. I never would partake. So the fact that you said that, I'm like, no, I understand. I completely understand. That's, yeah, absolutely. And I see such a lack of that, especially with, we're talking about ayahuasca, and there's all these centers now popping up in the US, and I've been invited to so many of them, and I'm always like, no, like, I in my journey have never done ayahuasca. If she calls to me and it's meant to happen, I think I don't personally need that tool. I think I'm good. I'm good, but I think it's so helpful for other people, and I would love to study it more as well. But I think the only place I would ever do it is down in the jungle and in its native setting. It's the energetic ley lines it came from, the people that, the people that have worked with it, multi-generational families and stuff like that. I just don't think it's safe to have ayahuasca centers in the US or anything like that. It's just, it's just, even if you're taught how to administrate it and you go and work down with tribes in South America, that's great, but you don't possess any of the energy from the ley lines of those native places, from the jungle that is the housing, home, and shelter of, like, when those ceremonies are going on, like the protection and the native people. It's like you can't embody that. You can try, but you never will be able to. That's not a thing. Like, it's just, so to me, I think I find it so interesting that there's centers now popping up in America, and I just.
The other thing is, and this goes along with the energetics of the natives. But there's an integration process after, that's super important to have, like, protection, okay? Like, a core, a foundation, right? For you to be able to, like, talk through things. Like, if you don't have a support system, I don't know if these different centers are housing that, but
being able to talk afterwards about your experience and navigate some things. Absolutely.
It may be different in the native because they have the energy interwoven within their spirit.
To have the capacity to hold space for that.
Exactly. And most of the time that people go down there, they're down there for a little bit. They're experiencing, they're going through the energy, like you said, the ley lines of that land. That's teaching them. That's not the same here in America.
It's not.
So if there is going to be a center, there needs to be some type of integration or something, because otherwise people will lose their minds.
Absolutely.
If they're not, like, really tuning in and being in integrity with the medicine.
Ooh, I love that word. Integrity. Yes, integrity with the medicine. Absolutely. And I love that you brought that up with afterwards, like, like the shamans and stuff, they do hold space. You do talk about it. You do, if you need to talk about it, it's like, oh, what the hell did I just experience? Or, like, what does this mean? There's a little bit of translation going on too. Like, especially if, people, like, in their trips are like, oh, I saw a jaguar or this animal or stuff. It's like those natives know what that represents. They can tell you, they can kind of translate for you on maybe what grandmother spirit ayahuasca was trying to show you or reveal to yourself.
Yeah.
So I agree with you completely on that. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
Oh my goodness. I think we just covered a lot.
I
loved it. Absolutely. Again, like, I just encourage everyone to really take care of themselves and want better for themselves. And I think we all got this as a collective.
Yes.
Like, we can do this. Like, it's hard sometimes, but it's only like, you know, like, there's always, never feel like alone. There is always somebody there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we all really are in this together. As much as we want to, like, paint ourselves as separate, we're all in this together. And we really all need to have each other's back and eat algae and protect the ocean. And yeah. So, and crystals were a huge part of my transformation, I will also say.
Yes.
Yeah. Crystals are amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll hear more from you. I would love to have
awesome.
another podcast in the future.
I would too. I want to see what will organically come up and we'll talk about it. And like, there's so many things.
Yeah.
I could talk like all day. I love navigating conversation with other people. I think it's so fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much, River, for coming on this podcast, Energy Speaks.
I love that.
Please, if you're listening, I'm on Apple Podcasts. Please leave a review. I'm also on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'm getting those episodes up on YouTube as well. All right. Well, I love you all, divine, beautiful souls. This is Catriel, your host, over and out.